Welcome into the CHGO Bears pregame show. What's up, crew? Bears fans, there's a football game today. The Bears haven't been home in 6 years. It's been like 5 weeks.
It does. It feels
like forever.
It does.
I walked out of my palatial apartment this morning in the South Loop, and there's all these Lions fans flowing in. I'm like, oh, there is a football game today, and people are here. And I'm so happy we didn't have a tailgate today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually forgot this was a home game because we didn't have a tailgate this morning.
Right.
Like, I woke up like it was a road game, and then I was driving in, and I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, there's a bunch of Bears fans on the road because it's a home game.
They're out there drinking hard.
Oh, I had a guy.
Our fearless leader, Jake Flanagan, going to the game today with his wife. So
I had a guy on 290 just gunning it, trying to get by me, like with his little Bears flag flying in the wind. I was like, settle down, bro.
But could this have been one of the most successful bye weeks in Bears franchise history, with the Cardinals and the Patriots winning back-to-back games last Sunday?
Shout out
and
Mike
then
Tomlin.
Thursday to essentially, I mean, it's not completely locked in yet, but they are.
I mean,
90%
round of applause.
chance of a number one
Mitch
pick.
Trubisky.
Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch. Future Bears head coach Mike Tomlin. Great 5 days.
Yep.
Shout out to all the brilliant Bears fans who said, you know what, you'll see what Mitch will do when he gets somewhere else. You'll see.
My mom's calling me right now.
Come on, Barb.
Come on, Barb. The show started. What are we doing here?
What if she fell?
Pick it up.
Well, then you should probably
pick it up. Seriously, pick it up and tell her the show's on.
Hello, Mom.
Let me talk to her.
Hi. Hey, Mom, I'm live on the air. Hi, Addie. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
You just hang up on your mom?
That's messed up. I wanted to talk to her, too.
She always does this thing where she calls me and then puts Addie, my 5-year-old daughter, on the phone.
Yeah.
And then it just turns into this where I can't even get the conversation going. But she's fine.
I feel
so
you.
she's safe and sound.
You know who does that to me every day during our show? I swear Adam Johns purposely texts me about Hoge Johns while we're on the air doing this show.
He's taunting the show.
Every single day, it's like 12:20. Hey, what are we doing tomorrow?
He's taunting you.
Right now I'm doing a show. Thanks for watching. Jerk.
Doesn't care about this show. It's fine. No big deal. I always listen to Hoge Johns.
By the way, Hoge Johns postgame coming later today after our postgame. So watch that too. Hey, I'm really excited. I'm, legitimately, bye weeks suck. Bye weeks suck. I don't like weeks without football, without Bears games. So we get a Bears game, and what are you eye rolling?
I had a great time in Puerto Rico. I absolutely love it. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
You came home with 6 different viruses.
I feel good.
You got COVID.
He's got Ebola.
SARS. Ebola, Zika,
monkeypox. Don't forget monkeypox.
Whatever I have.
Sound like absolute shit.
He jumped in that cenote, and now he's come back with.
Just listen. You don't look good. You don't sound good. I don't know.
I sound fine. I don't sound good.
You don't.
I'm fine.
Your voice sounds a little crinkled.
You were talking to Cap too long last night, or whatever you were doing. You didn't sleep well at Midtown over the weekend.
Cap big time me after he left Bernie's. He didn't even say goodbye. He just
the spares the bed.
Shout out.
First of all, I didn't even get invited.
He didn't sleep well there because he got hit because he drank too much here. It wasn't in the Midtown. I'd kill to be in the Midtown Hotel, the greatest place ever.
It was great. Shout out to Midtown.
Yeah, no more calling me the Mansion or Hollywood. You're Hollywood.
Yeah.
No one's changed more in the last 12 months than that guy.
No, we've lost you.
Yeah, when my buddy saw me doing hot yoga, he was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
That's awesome.
You were back to normal, though, when you acted like a 3-year-old when you lost in the ping pong tournament at the CHGO holiday party.
Whoever that guy is with 7 different letters and numbers in his username says, you all kind of sound hungover.
I'm not hungover. I was in bed at 9.
I'm definitely not hungover. Green is a bad color on you.
Yeah, I don't know. Lord Crimson's watching on a different
I am
screen.
rocking the...
What kind of... I literally... I guess my shoe. No, that's like more like yellow. I have no green on. I don't know what you're talking about.
I am right.
Settle down,
maybe
Mark
he's
Christian.
colorblind.
All right,
Nick was wearing some green pants though Friday.
I'm rocking this. I got this for the Black Friday sale. The
don't care.
Bears player jumping over the Detroit Lion.
That's
Good thinking.
Good coordination. All right, I want to get into it.
Get that on CHGOLocker.com.
Hoge, you're leading here, but I want to get into it. Ryan Pohl said on the ESPN 1000 pregame show that the Bears are close. They're elite. They're one step away.
Okay, you are exactly what you just aggregated. You're Deadspin is what you just are.
That's what he
said. That is not at all remotely.
That's what he said.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Deadspin
Explain.
2010
Yeah,
or Deadspin
we're close.
2023?
He said.
Go
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I want to see what you're paraphrasing here / inaccurately quoting.
Okay. All right. I tweeted it. We are really close to being an elite defense and an elite team. I can see the light for sure. That's what he said.
He did.
He said that.
He did say that.
Okay. So what am I aggregating, overstating, or anything? And I'm not even making an argument yet that he's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what he said.
There's a one key word in there.
What's the key word?
Defense. He was not talking about the entire team.
That's true.
I have.
How
it
about
here.
this? How about this? This, according to Warren Sharp, last 8 weeks, Chicago's pass defense ranks number 1 in interceptions, number 2 in yards per. What is it? YPA?
Attempt?
Yards per play.
I saw that one.
I think it's
yesterday,
yards
and I
per
was
play. I think is what.
Well, I thought maybe wasn't it passing though? So I thought yards per attempt.
It is uncanny how bad
Oh, it
you
is
are
probably
at
yards
this.
per attempt. You're right. My
It
fault.
is uncanny how bad you are at acronyms. That's a football one. You'd think you'd know
Yards
that.
per. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's yards per attempt. I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else.
He is hungover.
Their run defense, number 1 in success rate, number 2 in yards per carry. You're right. So yards per attempt, then yards per carry. So the bottom line is the Bears' defense, for those who haven't really noticed, elite over about half the season so far. The last half of a full season.
I'm not making an argument against that. I'm not making an argument on anything. And by the way, once again, the quote was, we were really close to being an elite defense and an elite team. That's what he said.
Okay.
He said both.
Well, it starts with the defense, and he also went on to talk about 5 different things they need to do better on offense. So if you listen to, my point is, if you listen to the whole interview, he's not trying to lie to anybody about how far away they are on offense.
I don't think he's lying.
Got to be more consistent, got to have more explosive plays, have to take care of the football more.
Right, because what did he say like a month ago in one of these pregame interviews that the roster was at like 75% of where it needed to be. So this is where he's gauging where they're climbing to.
What I thought was more interesting by the way, and I know I've done this from past weeks. Shout out Crystal as I get.
Crystal, you're the greatest.
Yeah, Crystal.
1999, just sending in my love. Hey, guys, hope you had a great week. My pick for today is Bears 27-21. You know I can't go against them. Bear down. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. We love you back, Crystal. Thanks so much.
Appreciate the $20 super chat. Just another quick shout out. Jeff Joniak, Ryan Poles, ESPN 1000. Thank you for turning that weekly interview into a real interview. That's not just an obligation that the GM does every week and says nothing. It has been interesting almost every single week. The questions have been good. The answers have been good. Shout out to Ryan Poles for engaging.
The last GM didn't even do interviews.
Well, he did this. No, he did this weekly interview. You probably don't remember it because no one cared about it because he didn't say anything. And quite frankly, it was like 3 minutes, and Joniak was put in a position where I don't think he really asked like hard-hitting questions like and they're not even hard-hitting. They're just like, fair, good questions that the GM's actually taking time to answer. And it's now like a 10-minute, 12-minute interview, not just something that's being snuck into, a tiny segment because it's sponsored in a pregame show. So it's been good every week. And it allows us to kind of take different answers to different questions and understand where he's coming from. What you brought up was my point with you is just like I think he's talking about the defense, and I don't think he's trying to lie to anybody about how far away the offense still is. What I found interesting too in there was he's talking about how Matt Eberflus and Justin Fields have handled the noise and how they're really good at blocking it out and staying focused on the task at hand. And I agree with that. I actually do think that's a strength of Matt Eberflus because every single week, other than some schematic stuff offensively, they do seem like a mostly prepared football team to me most weeks. The penalties have been a problem at times, but that's more of a season overall theme. and I do think that they ignore the noise. What I was worried was that I'm like, oh, here we go again, where like this is going to be too much praise for the head coach and not an acknowledgement of, you know, the things that happened earlier this year. The fact that they had a terrible 4-week stretch to start the season. The fact that they had two coaches fired / resigned in weird HR-related matters, which still counts on the resume. And where I'm all going with this, guys, is Joniak asked him a question about the evaluation of these 5 final weeks. And in that question, he listed those things. Like all the sort of drama and adversity that's been in the season too. And I didn't think Poles shied away from the idea that, yeah, these 5 weeks matter.
He said they're going to get a ton of information in these final 5 weeks.
And he goes, that's my job.
Right. But you're teeing up the Flus Fields part of it.
Yeah.
And I thought the way he led into that, now this may be a Carm reading too much into how he said one thing. I will acknowledge that. But the way he led into that was interesting to me. One thing you can't say about those guys is how he put it. One thing you can't say about those guys is that they haven't handled the noise, is that they haven't remained professional. So he's basically, the way I'm hearing that, if I'm trying to hear all sides of it, it's like, all the other criticism's fair, but they've been professional. So that to me,
I agree. I can't wait. The interview is over. I'm like, okay, let's go. It's go time. The stock we're putting in this game today, as we, you know, and honestly, these next 5 games, I think this is the biggest game of Matt Eberflus' head coaching career today. I think it's a huge opportunity for him to make a statement that he should still be here next year, to correct the problems that they had a couple weeks ago when they blew this game to the Lions. And, oh, by the way, you know what's also on the table? Them losing in disastrous fashion and cementing the fact that he might be gone next year.
And Bryce, I know you're interested to get in, but I just want to lay in there that, look, they got Detroit, Cleveland next week. Browns are trying to make the playoffs. Packers at the end of the season, they're trying to make the playoffs. It's not just this
Cardinals
one game
on Christmas Eve, and that was my point. These are winnable games,
right? But they're games that mean something for other teams. So I think there is actually, you know, they're not going to be coming in here laying down.
Here, let me put this in Vegas terms.
Yeah,
the Bears are 3.5-point underdogs. This is basically around a field goal. Other than maybe what this looks like in Week 18, I think all of these games, the spreads will be within a field goal. And I think a couple of them, the Bears will actually be favored, like Cardinals being one of them. So that the point there being, these are all winnable. They're all losable. There's a lot on the line here.
Well, because
Atlanta needs the game too.
The other aspect is how healthy this roster is.
He underlined that.
The defense has looked great, as we pointed out. The offensive line has really come together. So it is a fair assessment. They are 5 winnable games. Could they lose every game? Sure, but they could also win every game if they play to their highest potential. Obviously, that's unrealistic and probably not likely to happen, but still, hey, you have every opportunity to do that. And to me, the key word is adjustments, consistency. Those are the 2 things they've struggled most with. They've yet to win back-to-back games in the Matt Eberflus era. They just won their first division game in the Matt Eberflus era 2 weeks ago. So don't come to Soldier Field today and lay an egg, be rusty, and not make – because I know the Lions are going to make adjustments from what happened in Detroit a few weeks ago. Now, are the Bears going to be able to counter-punch?
Well, let's talk about the consistency part, okay? Because – there is some level of good feeling. The Bears beat the Vikings 12-10. Fields fumbled twice, but at the end, he was able to find DJ Moore, got him into field goal range, made the kick, won the football game. If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm still looking at that game like this. We didn't score a touchdown. There's no way I can walk out of here thinking that our offense is anywhere close to where I want it to be if we're ever going to win a Super Bowl. And yeah, sweet, we won, but we also beat a backup quarterback in a game where we didn't score a touchdown. Like I don't know when he says the consistency. The reason I don't want it to just mean wins. It is important to win, but it's also to me consistency. I'd be curious how he would define it. Is that they actually
I guarantee it's about wins.
I know, I get it, and so that's the thing. Like the wins matter, and it's nice to beat a division team. But I'm sorry, like that is not a sustainable thing. Being Josh Dobbs and not scoring a touchdown, like I don't know how you can walk out of there and be like, all right, we're heading in the right direction.
And all those turnovers and not scoring.
Well, I see DBB in the chat saying these guys are manic. Now he's talking about winning out. I'm not saying that, and it's not manic. It's fanatic, and that's what I am. I'm fanatical. I also don't leave out anything of any scenario. I'm not ruling out the scenario they lose out, and I'm not ruling out the scenario they win out. However, both are very unlikely, but not impossible. Obviously, it's going to be somewhere in the middle, 2-3, 3-2. That's the easy answer to make. I'm just saying, for what the Bears are trying to prove to Ryan Poles, they have every opportunity to push all their chips in the middle of the table and show that they've, become this close to elite team that Ryan Poles is alluding to.
To your point, Hoge, I think you're right. This is a huge game for Matt Eberflus.
I think it's huge. And getting back to that comment from DBD, first of all, the only one here that fired everyone was Brax.
I've fired the entire coaching staff twice.
So don't lump us into
maybe
that.
3 times.
I've been the one here saying it's a long season. Look at this at the end, which is why we're talking about them winning out. I'm also talking about them losing out. I think everything's on the table here. That's my point.
Well, that's what I mean. Going into today's game, do you have any idea how they're going to play? I could see them scoring 10 points on offense and looking rusty as hell, and I could see Fields dropping 35 on them and doing what he did. I have every week when Fields and this offense plays and Luke Getsy's calling plays, I have no idea what to expect from these guys.
So the Getsy part, go ahead.
Well, no, that's where I want to bring the defense back into this, because I do think when we talk about what Ryan Poles was talking about in that pregame, what do you feel good about, though? I feel good that the defense is going to give them a chance. This is no longer earlier in the year.
They're becoming more predictable.
When they went into Kansas City and you're like, oh, this is going to be ugly. We know it's going to be ugly. And yes, it was ugly. They have coached these guys up. They've developed a bunch of these players. And then they added Montez Sweat, who, as Ryan Poles said, has been a multiplier. And it has completely changed this unit. They are legitimately good on defense. And even if they're not going to be perfect from game to game, they're going to give you a chance. But to your point, I agree with you. What the offense does with that, I have no fucking clue.
Right. And then the other point I was going to make, too, is when you talk about having won back-to-back games, just won your first divisional game, the other box they need to check is to beat a team that has a decent quarterback, because they've yet to do that. Every team they've beaten in Matt Eberflus' career, the 7 teams they've beaten, are backups and bad quarterbacks. Jared Goff's played well this year.
Well, Carm's got Jared Goff in the Hall of Fame, so this is a good opportunity for the Bears.
He's not great, but he's a solid quarterback.
Look, to your point, they beat the Commanders, who fired Jack Del Rio. They beat the Raiders, who fired Josh McDaniels, their head coach. They beat the Panthers. Frank Reich is on a canoe somewhere. They beat the Vikings. There was no Kirk Cousins. There was no Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's all accurate. Yeah. And to your point, Hoge, since Montez Sweat got here, shout out my guy Mark Potash, who put these stats together in his piece today. 19 pressures in the Sweat, 4 games per game. Before that, it was 14. Everybody knows the interceptions. They get 7 of them in the last 2 games. By the way, 6 different Bears with those 7 interceptions. So it's literally everybody's out there. And so the multiplier thing with Montez, everyone's eating right now. People should be.
Intercepting and turning over Josh Dobbs isn't as impressive as how they played against the Lions.
Well, okay, that's fine.
But the Lions game was in a loss.
Right, well, Goff threw 3 picks against the Bears. How many has he thrown against the rest of the NFL this year? Anybody?
10.
5. So, all right. I mean, so that would be. What's the percentage on that? That would be 62 and
I bet you
38.5%.
And I bet you those most
37.5%
are more recent.
Doesn't matter.
A lot of. What's that?
And I bet you most of those other picks are more recent, too, because it seems like they're starting to hit a wall.
Ever since Carman crowned him as the best quarterback that's ever played, he's been terrible.
Best quarterback, and Cap's got him win the Super Bowl.
How many yards a game are the Bears allowing on the ground right now? Anybody? 3.4. Where does that rank?
Number 1.
2 in the NFL.
I should have known that because I gave that stat like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That they were number 2.
So
in yards per carry.
Well, Hoge, your point that you can.
I'm not even listening to myself now.
That's a good move. I try not to listen to me.
By the way, sorry to Chris Lawrence for earmuffs to the 6 and 4-year-old. Glad you're watching. Appreciate you guys.
Adam's gonna get coal for Christmas.
I've always said this is a family show, except when these two talk.
Yeah, you've probably definitely said the fewest swear words on the show over the history of it.
I'm a professional.
All right. Do we have inactives?
Yes, we do.
Well, it's funny you asked that because Isaac Siegel threw us $5 saying, who's the starting running back in your opinion today? I have all three. Who do I start?
Don't play the Bears.
Honestly, none of the above would be my answer. I think if
you have to play a Bear,
Foreman.
Kari Blasingame.
I think Foreman has the highest ceiling if we're going boom bust.
Really? That's so hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, do you see?
I'd play Roshan if I were you.
He would be no.
He's going to get in the end zone.
How many times has he done that this year? The answer is once.
Not enough, apparently, then. Feels like he's been there every week. I would batter ram that dude in the end zone today if I was Ryan Poles. I mean, if I was Luke Getsy, thank you.
Yeah, I think we've kind of answered that question, though. We can't decide, and I would probably stay away from it. $2 super chat here. Chi-Town Real Estate. Let's go. Love you all. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Chi-Town.
I guess, do we have the inactive graphic was what I was more specific.
I didn't see any inactives put into the...
That was my question here. Why don't we we'll talk about the inactives here in a second. Let's tell you about Game Time, because these are the moments Game Time is the best time. Because we always talk about last-minute tickets. Well, we're 40 minutes from kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you happen to be still debating or you're in the area, you're like, I don't know, maybe I want to go to this game, and I haven't looked it out. Weather's not exactly great. It's a big game. A lot of Lions fans seem to have come in town, but
I'm checking the actual price right now.
Now's your time to take advantage of Game Time with last-minute ticket deals, because that's what Game Time does. They have flash deals. They have zone deals. It's the easiest way to buy and find tickets for every kind of event in your area. It's not just football or sports. You can also do concerts, comedy shows, whatever you want to go to. And last minute, you can buy. You don't have to go last minute, but if you're thinking last minute, Game Time is definitely the way to go. You can also see your seat, the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show you your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without all those hidden fees that you see elsewhere.
All right, my best buy for you right now is 336 row 5. So that's 50-yard line on the upper level grandstand, which is an unbelievable seat. That's
300 level is a great level.
That's a 163er. Cheapest get in right now is 114 if you want to go row 32 upper level corner.
That's right.
There you go. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. So with those numbers Carman just gave, you can knock off $20 right there. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee.
That's right. And we need to get Chi-Town Northwest Indiana Real Estate. I want him in one of these ad reads. So, hey, get some region representation in here. I'm a region guy. Hit us up, my man. I know you love us, so let's see how much you love us. Pay the pony. No, I'm kidding.
Do people in the region know that, like I didn't even know that I've lived in Chicago my entire life. I did not know that was even a thing.
Until the region?
The region.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows the
Very
region.
real thing.
I don't think everyone does.
We're very proud.
I
region,
definitely don't.
We call ourselves
Region
region.
I would
rats.
estimate 70% of Chicagoans don't know what the region is.
You got to know people from the region to know the region.
Well, now I do. Now I know what it is.
And you'll never forget us. Our
won't.
reputation precedes
I
us.
won't.
No doubt about it.
And I wasn't meaning any disrespect.
No,
to the
you
region.
can. It's okay.
I find it fun. You guys, you love the region.
NWI, baby.
And by the way, I actually think it's a really cool name for a region.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Great basketball.
I didn't know that was actually a thing.
Oh yeah, we take a lot of pride in our area, especially me. So shout out to our guy. Another guy we want to shout out is our friends over at Circa Sports. They've been great all year with us. We appreciate their support. Tight money line splits. Games strive to be a -110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use a -115 or -120 split. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to the other books. Circa Sports does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. We encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available. Go ahead, compare, see for yourself, compare the lines from each sportsbook, and you'll see that Circa Sportsbook is the best one for you. Their customer service is second to none. Real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other sportsbooks who use those annoying chat bots. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, the one with the sweet pool and the million TVs and you can lay out. Excited to get there and check it out for myself one day. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
We're going to bring in Nicholas Moriano in a second. Your inactives today, the biggest news. I mean, there's really no major surprises, but the big news that did come down during the week was Equanimous St. Brown is now week-to-week with a Matt Peck issue, according to at CHGO.
Yells too much?
Right here.
Hat throwing?
How do you spell Peck?
Well, what are we talking about? Are we talking about a pectoral muscle?
Yeah.
PEC.
Okay.
Are you gonna say what I said about St. Brown the other day? You were goofing on me about.
I forgot exactly that one. You were just like, it's a huge deal that EQ's out. We can't survive without EQ. I don't know how we're gonna do it without.
We
EQ.
run a lot of screens. He's a good blocking wide receiver. It is important that he's out.
It is important.
Oh, it's a huge.
And he
loss.
was like,
"It's huge. I don't know how we're gonna do it."
Okay.
No EQ.
All right. Do you remember the first few weeks of the season?
Yeah, I do. And
Here
EQ's
comes
part
that-
in that is a half of 1%. Come on,
give me
please.
that glazed over
Please
face.
don't. Please
Do
don't.
you
Let's
not see how they run the offense?
Do you understand how pathetic it is that the two of you now officially are saying that they're desperate for EQ, who's got 4 catches?
No one's saying they're desperate. We're just saying it's
Braggs was acting like the world was coming to an end because EQ wasn't playing.
Because I said we were talking about our predictions, and I was like, well, now EQ's out, and that's going to make it harder. And then he gave that glazed over look that he always gives.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, no, we don't have EQ.
All right. Well, meanwhile, your wide receivers for today are DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney. You ready? Who's your number 3? You ready?
Yes, Valus.
No, well, it's probably Tyler Scott.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Tyler
Had a
Scott,
hamstring a couple days ago.
Valus Jones, Trent Taylor, Colin Johnson.
Inactive.
Bear or not a bear?
Well, now I don't like to do this because honest mistakes happen. But when the Bears announced this move yesterday, they did announce that Colin Thompson was elevated, and
That's amazing.
and it's okay. I'm honestly, because I read that and I was like, sure, Colin Thompson. I think there were a couple of Bears beat reporters that actually then just took that and were like, Colin Thompson. But actually, his name's Colin Johnson. So
I'm sure Braggs could give us the details on Colin Johnson right now.
Of course I could.
What do you got?
I got nothing.
So
I got him, by the way. 5th round draft pick out of the Jaguars, 2020, damn it. 29 catches, 327 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tore his Achilles in training camp with the Giants in 2022, put on the injury reserve. Waived by the Giants August 27th, Bears signed him October 10th. Carm research right here. That's why you listen to Carm.
okay, well, regardless, Colin Thompson Johnson is inactive today, and you won't see him on the football field, so it doesn't even matter.
Great.
Let's bring in Nick from Soldier Field. He is our Bears beat reporter, dominates all CHGO, wears awesome green pants to holiday parties, and still looks good doing it.
Lost in the championship of the ping pong tournament again.
I was at the Bernie's Book Bank banquet last night, and this guy that was like 65 years old had the exact same pants that Nick had on. I'm not saying
They were red, though.
they were red.
Nick, who'd you lose to in the championship this year?
It was you, Mark. Yeah, you beat
Nick,
me fair and square.
I have no. I have a follow-up question. Who drew up the entire bracket?
Thank you.
And
Juice the brackets.
you can answer.
Very true. So, I mean,
Well, tell the people who drew it up.
yeah, I think that was a Mark Carman. He was
Okay.
asking for advice on stuff too. So, I don't know. I didn't really think, put that into the equation there, but maybe
mean,
there's
what-
something that was being done.
Nick, what would you say about someone's character when they cheat at golf and tennis
In ping pong.
Well,
and ping pong? Sorry, yeah.
Hey,
ping pong,
Nick.
that's what we were playing.
Hey, Nick, who came to me and said I should be the 1 seed in the tournament?
That was me. That was definitely me.
Nick should have been the one seed. I respect that part of it. Do you think your pants held you back though in any way?
No, if anything, they allowed me to be more flexible. That's the perk of those pants. But still, it is a 50-50 on whether that was a good idea or a bad idea. I had actually Zach Pearson over here come up to me. He said, like the pants, maybe we should have gone with a solid colored blazer. So,
yes.
And I get that. But, yeah, still mixed results on the pants there, you guys.
I didn't hate the pants. Yeah, it just seemed like maybe something was missing up top.
Nick looked ridiculous. All right. On to what's important, which is today's game. Nick, tell us something you've seen this morning that surprised you or interested you, or if you feel like we need to know.
Well, I'm just looking out at Soldier Field right now, you guys, and Week 14 rematch with the Lions. It kind of feels dead here. Like, there's just not a lot of people here, and we are 30 minutes from kickoff, and it's NFC North rematch. Maybe more people show up, but it just kind of feels like a late December game where the Bears are no longer in it, which at 4 wins, it kind of feels like that, but it looks like that right now. I wasn't really expecting that with this being, the first game since at Soldier Field since the victory over the Carolina Panthers, but maybe things will turn around here in a little bit.
Let me ask you.
It's almost as if people would prefer to be in a nice warm stadium with a roof right now.
Oh.
Right there in the South, it'd be amazing. This is questions for you and for you, Hoge, because I went to Hallis on Friday, and it's Friday, so I don't want to read too much into it, but that place felt dead. I'm curious what it felt like during the week for you guys, because it does feel like sort of the air is out of the balloon, even though Cole Kmet's up there because he's the greatest, saying like, hey, we can win out and win 9 games, let's go. Did you feel like a certain level, like an energy drop coming back this week, or is that just me?
No, I think at the start of the week, the energy was definitely there, especially in the locker room. There's actually a lot of guys in there. It was like a full locker room. But I think typically, later in the week, it kind of feels like it's not as lively. But I would say definitely coming off of the bye week, you saw the Flus was energized. You saw that the people were in the locker room. So maybe just kind of dipped down. But I'm telling you, right now, it just kind of feels like it's just a regular noon game, Bears-Lions, and that's really all of it right now.
What do you make of the wide receiver health situation? I mean, look, I think in normal weeks we're probably not even talking about this. The Bears are a very healthy team, but it did sound like whatever happened to Equinemius St. Brown this week, blocking, he hurt his pec. That's usually not a good thing, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, now the Bears wide receivers, it looks a little thinner than normal.
Yeah, it's a little thinner, but I was watching Tyler Scott and Bayless Jones Jr. do some warm-ups. They, for the most part, look good running the routes. We're running all the route tree that every other wide receiver is running. And with EQ, I think this would have been a bigger deal, you guys, had he missed the Minnesota game where it was so primarily heavy on the screen game. I don't know if that's going to be really what you're going to see a lot of in this game plan against the Lions, because they give up some big plays down the field. And so you have some of your speedsters still available with Tyler Scott, Bayless Jones Jr., obviously DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney. So, those guys just need to stay healthy throughout this game, and more so Tyler Scott with that hamstring. You never know with those kind of injuries. But, yeah, had EQ missed the Minnesota game where they were so reliant on the screen game, that would have been a bigger issue. But I think they'll manage with what they got for this matchup.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, this team this year, coming into the season off, the 2-week bye from the preseason, lose to the Packers, 2 Thursday night games afterwards where you have a mini bye week, you lose to the Vikings and then the Lions, so this is their opportunity here coming off another bye week. I mean, what expectations should Bears fans have that they're going to actually come ready to play with an extended time off?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, Greg, because when they've had time to really think about that next matchup after time off, they just fell flat. But I feel like this is a game that a lot of the Bears players, coaches, even on the Lions side, have circled for this matchup at Soldier Field because they felt like they should have won this game. So it could be really telling. Are we going to see the Bears team that played 56 minutes against Detroit and we're winning that game, or the one at the end of the first half, the end of the second half, and those 2-minute drives that folded and gave up big play after big play over the middle of the field. So, yeah, which Bears team is going to show up is a really good question, Greg. But for my prediction, it's the first one that showed up for the first 56 minutes.
Well, that's the point. I mean, right, Nick? I mean, the Lions adjusted at the end of the last game, like you said, and started getting into 2 minute and found success. Do you think that that's going to be the adjustment the Lions make here to come right out the gate and try to play faster on the Bears to keep them on their heels?
I think it's definitely something that they need to try, right? Because if you had success with it and the Bears just had no way of stopping it, you have to see how the Bears adjust. But I think the big thing that the Bears need to figure out is, and what TJ Edwards was saying earlier in the week, and even Travis Smith, the defensive line coach, someone needs to make a play in those 2 minute drives. And that's what did not happen in all those instances where the Lions were going down the field effortlessly. No one made a big play. But yeah, if I'm the Lions, I'm testing that out. And they love to attack the middle of the field. And if the Bears can't defend that, then the Lions will have big plays consistently all game. But for majority of the game, the Bears, they did their thing in the middle of the field. We're able to stop the Lions in that passing attack.
Nick, do you think today's the day that Darnell Mooney breaks out and has a big game?
Oh, man, it has to happen at some point, right? And it just hasn't happened all this season, even with all the extra attention at DJ Moore. But I think there are going to be opportunities downfield, Mark. And with these safeties with the Lions, they like to jump the first route they see. So that could be an opportunity for Darnell Mooney to be on that second level, third level, and then maybe you can see some big plays happen after that. But look, you have 5 games left, and Darnell Mooney's obviously not having the season that he envisioned he would have. So that's to happen at some point. It's a good opportunity today.
Yeah, a little teaser for our prop bets. I'm playing Darnell today. But, all right, so along with your tape work here, Nick, Lions are missing their 3 tech and Aleem McNeil.
Props.
What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Braggs didn't do his prop.
Great.
I'll pull one in for you right now.
His props
Hammer Blazen game.
His props have been so valuable. I don't know how we're going to live without that one. They're missing Aleem McNeil, who sacked Justin Fields, one of his 5 sacks this year. That's their 3 tech. They're also their offensive line's banged up, Nick. You've got the 2-time Pro Bowl center Frank Ragnow is out, so you're switching your guard Graham Glasgow to center, and then you're playing a rookie Colby Sorskull, whatever, is moving into guard. Who cares?
I've got a Sorskull.
He's a guard in the Lions. I don't care. But I am curious, where do you think we'll see a bigger impact on their offensive line, their defensive line, both? How are you looking at that?
No, I think those are 2 significant injuries. And anytime you don't have a center at the Frank Ragnow's, what he can bring to that offensive line, that's huge. And we saw Javon Dexter had some success in that first matchup against Detroit. So watching the interior versus a guy like Jared Goff, like that's those are going to be matchups that we have to watch throughout the entirety of the game, see how they hold up on the interior. And then look, when you don't have a guy like McNeil, more attention can go to a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. And for a majority of that game, Darnell Wright did a good job of mitigating what he could do. And then in the very last play, he was able to beat Darnell Wright around the edge. So those are 2 huge injuries in the trenches for the Lions, and the Bears need to exploit those matchups. And I think, especially on the interior with Jared Goff, get that pressure up there in the cold weather too. That can be definitely a big loss for the Lions in the second matchup.
All right, Nick. Well, we're looking forward to it. Anything else you got for us before we let you go enjoy the game?
No, guys, I'm just looking forward to seeing, like what Greg was asking about, which Bears team actually shows up, because if it's the one that's been consistent with the extended time and not coming out and wanting to play against the Detroit Lions team, like this can get ugly, but we'll see what happens here.
Is it windy? What's the weather like?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been watching the field goal posts, and as you guys know, it changes like every couple of seconds here. It's not too bad right now. One in the end zones is swirling towards the skyline. The other one is flat.
It's just not. It's not too because it's not really that cold. Like it's not as cold as it could be. So if the wind's not a factor, it won't be.
Hey,
Nick, right now, you guys, it isn't.
Nick, real fast because we can't see you today, but your avatar is one of the best hair on the Bears beat. Yet Mark Grody has turned into Grody Flus, and he's getting all his attention because he slicked back his hair. Do you regret that you did not become Moriano Flus, Maury Flus, something. You could have done Fluciano, and given attention to us, which we would have greatly taken, and you just did not seize that opportunity.
Well, okay, so in fairness, I am growing out my hair though, so it's just not at that point where I can slick it back like Grody's. So it's getting there, but it's not gonna be Flus like. It's gonna have a little bit more something. You'll see.
Oh, it's something, all right.
It's also, this would have been a way better opportunity for you, Carm, not Nick.
Yeah, who wants to look like Flus?
You have the gray hair. Flus's hair is going grayer by the week.
I'm not out there every day though. Nick's our guy. He should have seen the light.
Super gray hair. Super old.
Oh, super gray. Super gray.
Bye, Nick. Enjoy
Thanks,
the game.
Nick.
All right, you guys.
All right, make sure you follow him on Twitter at Nicholas
Super
Moriano
great.
for updates from the stadium the entire game. We'll talk to Nick post-game as well, and he'll be writing at allchgo.com. Man, now you have me distracted what I was going to say.
It was something along the lines of super
No,
vile.
it had to do with the weather. Do you guys know the last time the Lions played a true outdoor game?
I do not.
Thanks for reading the Bears Things newsletter that came out Friday.
Bad job.
Didn't read it. Don't care.
I do care. I love Hoge.
I think the headline on this show should be "Don't Care." There seems to be a lot of things that we've been listening that we don't care about.
I definitely don't care about the Lions' backup guard, who's a rookie. With all due respect to his family.
This you might care a little bit. Granted, it's coming from the Bear Weather as a myth guy. But the Lions have not played. The only road game the Lions have played since like early October was in LA against the Chargers. It's
Doesn't count.
Barely an outdoor game.
Right.
It has a roof, even though it's open air. You got to go back to Baltimore.
They got run.
Baltimore?
They got killed in that game. It was in October, and the high that day was 62 degrees. The point being, that's the coldest game the Lions have played in this year. 62 degrees. Obviously, they play all their home games in a dome. This is the first time now, granted, they are in Detroit. They do get to practice, and that does matter. Like, they've been practicing outdoors, I'm sure, all week preparing for this game, unlike when you play, like...
You think so?
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Okay, well...
Dan Campbell does not leave any stone unturned, my friend. They have been practicing outdoors because he's great, Dan Campbell. I got a Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell probably has them practice outside even when they have home games.
I have a phenomenal Dan Campbell quote that we can
Makes
get to
him-
before the end of the show. After you guys tell
Does it
everybody.
have the word grit in it?
He makes them walk on glass to get ready for the game.
They have to eat glass and bricks.
Someone in my fantasy league just picked up Tommy DeVito.
That's
They must be desperate.
That's offensive.
Also, that update for my phone is brought to you by Goose Island Beer Company.
I'm going to go make some deviled eggs. I'll be right back.
Is that code for taking a shit?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
Sorry, guy with your 6 and 4-year-old.
And sorry, Goose Island, whose logo's on the screen right now. CHGO supported by Goose Island Beer Company. Chicago's beers since 1988. They got Oktoberfest. They got Beer Hug. They got 312. They got Full Pocket Pills. Blackhawks Pale Ales in my fridge right now. I'm probably going to go home later tonight, put the Hawks game on, drink some Blackhawks Pale Ale, and also have the football game on the other screen as well. Good game tonight.
Yeah, I think you're not going to watch the Blackhawks.
Oh, the Hawks will be on the second TV.
Okay. Going for 3 in a row.
Another afternoon game. They play all these early afternoon games.
No, it's at 6.
Oh, it's at 6.
That's why he said
all
tonight he's going to be
I didn't
watching.
hear him. I don't listen.
Yeah, we've covered that. You don't read anything. You don't listen to anything.
Nothing.
Grab ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
That's right. And I want to tell you about our friends over at Varsity Coolers. Check these coolers out. These sweet bags. You got a little flip top with the Chicago action on. Yeah, be my model here. Do something useful with your life. They've got need the perfect bag for game day. Varsity Coolers will have you set game day and beyond with the best portable cooler and weekender duffel bag around. So it's a 2-for-1. It's got the team colors. It's got the map of Chicago on the back of it. It's got, hot dogs and pizza on the inside lining. Doubles as a cooler, as I said, waterproof and double insulated. Can be a travel duffel bag, as I said before.
How's the zipper action?
Really good zipper.
Good zipper action?
Yeah.
It's really insulated. It feels amazing.
Yeah.
This
Fits in a
bag's
golf
awesome.
cart. So if you want to sneak some beers onto the golf cart while you got your varsity cooler, you can do that. Yeah, there you go. You're doing a great job.
That's the model
Perfect
you want.
Christmas, Hanukkah holiday gift. 21 teams represented, so they're perfect for any football fan in your life. Built to show up in style to a party or repping around town. Gym bag. Taking it over to our guys over at Midtown. You can rock this sweet bag. You can wipe down the inside all day long, and it stays clean because of the way the inside lining is. So head over to varsitycoolers.us and use the code CHGO at checkout for 10% off your order.
All right. Couple super chats here. We got prop bets. We got predictions. And I got a Mark Trestman story for you.
And a Dan Campbell quote.
Wait, real quick, though. Can we talk about the DieHard deal that's still going on?
Still going on.
Still rocking and
Now's
rolling.
the time to become a DieHard if you're ever on the fence. We never do these sales. So,
And just so you know, like, if you lock in at this price, it will be that price in perpetuity. So you could be a diehard for $59.99 every year.
Oh, okay.
You get grandfathered into that price.
Or grandmothered.
So when
Shout out
Bragg
to Crystal.
raises the prices next year,
Yeah.
because he's in control of that. No, you get access to our happy hours, which are sweet.
Yep.
You get access to our Discord, which is fun.
Yep.
You get
less
access.
toxic than Twitter. And
You get access to my newsletter that Carman and Braggs don't read.
Disagree.
That's
right.
free shirt right out the gate.
Free shirt, right? Oh, and here's actually a cool thing, like because the holidays, when you become a diehard, we send out these. Well, it's right here in front of us. This little box. And
Ball.
Fumble.
That means you pick it up,
I
Carm.
went after it like Eddie Jackson.
You get this box.
It's philosophy. That's a loaf.
Comes with this. Well, you could pick any shirt you want, but this is the one that's in this box. You get your sweet membership card. I don't even have a membership card.
What size is that shirt?
Proof of membership.
Not yours.
You get your stickers. These stickers are sweet. They're so sticky. They're stuck to the box right now.
Yeah,
So
sweet
the
sticker
point
pack.
is, all this stuff comes in a cool box, and if you actually take the time to wrap your presents like you should for Christmas, unless you have Santa do it, which is fine, you can wrap this up and give it to them. It's a nice gift is the point for the holidays.
It's a very nice gift.
Yeah.
And you're supporting us here. Keep Mark having a job.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's sources say he's in a little bit of a danger, so if you could buy a couple of memberships for him.
Wait, now I don't know if that actually sells DieHards memberships.
That's a good point. Them.
Excellent.
Come on,
excellent.
help him out.
Excellent
He's an
pivot.
old man.
We'll help market his retirement. Great. That's wonderful.
There you go. Chris Pincaro, $9.99. Guys, I'm sending it today and starting the Bears defense and fantasy. Need someone else to get me in the playoffs. I am praying. Send it. Chris,
you're not getting in the playoffs.
Stay tuned for prop bets here in a minute. Okay?
Wow. Hoge.
Stay tuned. TP 2024.
I don't know what that
Toilet
means.
paper.
Okay, I'm just making sure that's not. Yeah. there should be week-to-week nuance in the offensive game plan based on the opponent, but too much change doesn't allow a true identity to form, which falls on Getsy. That's why we are inconsistent. Well, finding that match between what you're talking about, your identity, and how you change week to week to your opponent is what is hard about being an offensive coordinator or a coach in general. And, the good ones figure it out. I think the Bears still need to find more consistency, so I agree with that. Let's get to our prop bets here. To Chris's point there about fantasy, I'm going to give you a defensive touchdown for the Bears. I've been feeling this coming, right? The Bears have been getting their hands on footballs. They've been dropping pick sixes. I think this is the week at home. They convert. They get to the end zone. Plus 700 right now is your odds for the Bears getting into the end zone on either defense or special teams. And plus, it would help Chris in his fantasy matchup. So there you go.
All right, I played this one today. It is in my account, baby. 24.5 minus 115 for Darnell Mooney. I am taking the over. He is due. The Bears receivers are banged up. The ball should be going to him. He can't throw the ball to DJ Moore every single time. Justin Fields can't. So, listen, there's been a lot of noise around Darnell. I think that Justin wants him staying around here. I think he's going to look for him. Darnell Mooney over 24.5 feels like free money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And your blasting game prop is plus 2,500, which
plus 2,500. Let's get it, Kari.
The biggest thing of what I noticed when I did that is he has better odds to score a touchdown than Velus Jones.
Well, hold on.
Velus Jones is plus 2,800.
Wow.
Let's actually make Braggs make a real bet.
No.
Well, I like Cole Kmet, too, to get in the end zone. It's been 3 or 4 weeks, plus 250. He's coming on with us this week, which usually means good things happen.
You want to do that? How about Fields' passing yards? What's it at right now?
I don't know.
It was like 197 last time I checked.
I didn't like what I just saw in the trending.
What's the total? I'd probably take the under on the points for both teams.
Take the under on the points.
It's cold.
So I don't know if that was on the screen or not, but it was behind the screen. Yeah, Frank Wycheck passed away.
Yep.
I was wondering why he was trending on that screen. Music City Miracle, baby.
Fell at home.
You know what I'll say, too, about the Lions is Bye Bye Barry, which is available on Amazon Prime.
I watched it this weekend.
Documentary.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Barry Sanders.
They say the same thing 8,000 times. They could have done that. That documentary takes 3 hours. It could have been done in 28 minutes.
That's bullshit, man. You could show Barry Sanders highlights all day long. It was great.
I mean,
how long was the doc?
Sure, that was too long.
Quit complaining. It's great. It was a great documentary.
Line's down to 3.
Barry's one of my favorite players.
It's been
I love
back
Barry.
and forth.
I love Barry too, and I was very excited for the doc. I'm telling you, that doc is too long. But just curious,
Your Michael Jordan documentary was 10 episodes.
Should have been 40.
Should have been 20.
Thank you.
What do you think of Lions fans think about the length of their
that's what
Barry
I'm saying,
Sanders
dude.
doc? Stop being so selfish.
Lions fans, I'm not worried about. Justin Fields' passing yards is 196.5.
Okay.
Over
now give us a take. Do you like it or not?
I like
under.
Total Anarchy TV. Braggs, don't be a wuss. Take a proper prop bet.
He's had three of his top 4
right now.
Okay.
Braggs is doing his thing where he just talks to the person who's
chat.
not here.
Just
whatever you're saying is useless anyway.
What are you? Are you now officially the chat? You might officially be the chat. I might just call you chat. What's up, chat? All right. 3 of his 4 top rushing games ever have been
You're
against.
going to call me the network.
All right, we got to finish the show. Let Karn finish his point about Fields.
Okay.
3 of his top 4 rushing games have been against the Lions.
Yes.
So my inclination is to say that they're not going to figure out some miracle way to stop him, and so I would take the under on his passing yards and think he's going to have another big day on the ground.
Okay, there you go. I'm going over. Predictions for the game. Sit next to 2 haters here. That's what we got. We got
2 smart people.
2
is what you mean.
haters because
Records, please.
As you see on your screen there, records. Carm is going with the Lions winning 23-20. Braggs 24-20. Will DeWitt 23-21. All those guys going with the Lions. Now the smart people in the room, like Corey Wooten, who played in the NFL,
Not what their records would indicate.
he's got the Bears winning 21-17. Will going 24-20. And the guy with the glasses 23-17.
You just called Nick Will. They are Bears brothers, but you know.
I apologize to
Nick at 5 and 7 better pick it up.
Nick.
You're so worried about the records.
Well, I'm sorry. You're so worried about our predictions. So we're going to worry about the records too.
Chat. I did throw the poll in who's winning today, and we've got nearly 400 votes. The Bears are at 74% to win today.
That makes me feel
they're
good.
all a bunch of idiots.
Easy.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Since he's the chat, he is an idiot.
There you
That's
go.
true.
I did not envision my Saturday night ending up in a Twitter beef with Mark Trestman.
Yes, this was beautiful.
I have not spoken to Mark Trestman since the day
You
he
shamed
was
him
fired.
into deleting a tweet.
I know. I honestly felt bad about it. I went to bed sleep like I couldn't sleep because Mark's a nice guy.
I can't believe how accessible he was being. He's responding to everybody.
Okay, start at the top. Mark Trestman was literally on Twitter.
So Mark Trestman.
Was this really him, by the way?
Yeah, he's got like 2,000 followers. Too.
No, it's really him.
Bizarre.
I've seen a couple of his tweets. So Mark Trestman tweeted about he was trying to give Josh McCown a shout out, and he was bringing up the December game in 2013 where it was 8 degrees out. The wind chill was -9. It was the Mike Ditka game. And he puts this tweet up that was like, I had the fortune of being 7-1 in primetime games in my 2 years as the Bears head coach, but my favorite was Mike Ditka night when Josh McCown went off and all this. And so it's a cool tweet.
I would have responded with, well, you should have left him as a starter, you bozo. What'd you say?
Well, here's my response.
In typical Hoge fashion.
Well, it was a great game. I go, this was a great game, but off the top of my head, I can think of 3 primetime games the Bears were blown out in 2014, so there's no way this is accurate. He's trying to take a victory lap, and there's
because he was trying to be slick. He was like trying to slide in a lie with his compliment.
Well, and even if
you weren't going to give him that inch.
So right off the top of my head, I'm going,
screw you, Mark Trestman.
I'm just thinking of 2014. I'm like, they got killed in Green Bay. They lost to the Cowboys in primetime in 14.
I was at the Philly game where they lost 55-10.
And that was in 2013. That was another one. And then there was the Aaron Kromer game, which I knew was a night game when they played the Saints. I'm like,
I went back-to-back games. The Philly game where they lost 55-10, then went to the Packers game, the next night game. Maybe that was at 3 o'clock, and it just felt like a nighttime game where they lost to the Packers last week of the season.
Okay.
That was brutal.
All right. I'm really upset right now. We should have led the show with
I
that,
told you that.
and talked the whole show about that.
It was in Slack.
okay, so am I a bad guy? I felt bad about it.
Yes, you're a professional hater.
What am I hating on?
Just let the man have the lie. He was complimenting Josh McCown, Carm's guy, and you couldn't give him an inch.
I agree.
Poor old man.
And then,
you had to kick him while he was down. He got fired. He was a
shut up. There's
coach.
4 minutes left in the show.
You asked me, what did you do wrong?
I agree with you. I agree with you. But what I didn't expect was he then responded to me.
What'd he say?
Oh, yeah.
He said, Adam, I think it was 7 wins. He basically, I don't know what it was. You got the response?
Kicked him while he was
Says,
down.
Adam, I believe it was 7-3 or 7-4. Certainly my error, not the point of the tweet, but I'm pretty sure it was 8.
And then what did you say back?
I said I believe it was 6-4, which actually at that point I knew for sure. I said I believe it was 6-4, but regardless, that game against the Cowboys in 2013 was a memorable one and very cold.
Well, because that's the thing too and that's why it might get
I felt bad.
This is the greatest moment in Bears history. Trestman versus Hoge on Saturday Night Twitter is off the charts good. You have lost your mind.
When's he coming on the show? Though is my question.
You seriously get him on the show.
Well, on the
Mark.
rankings of most toxic things happening on Bears Twitter in the last 4 days, that was like 133rd. So you're good there, Hoge.
Yeah, well, I know, but
Nice job. What's his name?
We ain't shouting that fucking idiot down. So no.
Hoge with the own and then the kind words. Well done, Hoge. Thank you. Really, it's because I instantly felt bad about it. I should have let Mark just.
You should have just asked him, are you still wearing your hat? He never took his hat off. I went around the Bears locker room one day, just literally asked everybody, have you ever seen him without his hat?
I think I should have let it go. It was a Saturday night. It was definitely not important. So, anyway.
Yep. Well, and it's confusing. Those 3 o'clock games this time of year, by the end of the game, it's a night.
Well, people think that the Packer game was a night game in Week 17. It was a 3:25 game, but the whole game was basically dark.
We'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
after
the Bears play the Lions. They're going to win.
Hey, I had a really hard time picking this game. It feels like a complete coin flip. I hope we're talking about a win at 3.
Trestman did delete the original tweet. That was the moment where I cried myself
He
to sleep.
deleted the tweet.
I cried
They
myself.
didn't punt that game. That's what I remember about that game most.
That's the thing. I think they scored on every drive.
They scored on
he
every
deserved
drive.
to take a victory lap for that game.
You refused to let him be happy.
I know. I'm a bad guy.
You could have. You seriously write them right now. Do you regret not sticking with McCown, knowing what you know now and going back to that?
I don't know if he would do it, but I would actually love that Mark Trestman in the studio for like an hour-long interview.
I'd kill to have him here. Please get it done.
It would be. I don't know if Bears fans would want that though.
Just write him.
Well, I think it'd be great. You know, I mean, you say what you want about him, but he does understand the quarterback position, and in my lifetime, he produced one of the best offenses I've ever seen in a single season. They had a lot of talent on that team, but he did. Say what you want about how he did as a head coach or as a leader of men in a locker room and all that crap, but he does understand the quarterback position. So I think people would like to hear from Mark Trestman, including me. I'd be nice to you, Mark, unlike Hoge.
Kick off in 20 seconds. Braggs will continue his conversation with himself on Spaces.
We all silly like the mayor.